Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can activate the double invoice check in SAP S/4HANA. Therefore, we start with the customizing via transaction SPRO. Click on sub-reference IMG and then we scroll down up until we find Materials Management. Click on this one. Logistics Invoice Verification, Incoming Invoice, and then we scroll down up until we can see the customizing activity called Set Check for Duplicate Invoices. We select this one. Now you can see here the company codes. So first of all, you must click on New Entries in case your company code is not already stated over here. And then we have different check marks that we can set. The first column displays here the company code. So if we hit this check mark, then this means that the system will check the company code during the duplicate invoice check. So meaning that if we set this one, then we want the system to check whether our reference document occurs twice in a given company code. Then next off we have here the check reference field. If we hit this one, then the system will also look for the reference stated in the invoice. So in the Miro transaction, for instance, let me just open it for you. We are talking about this field over here. So in case we entered the same reference twice, the system will inform us that there might be a double invoice in the process. Then we have here the next one called check invoicing date. So when we hit this one, then the system will display a message regarding double invoices in case that the invoicing date is the same for multiple invoices. And last but not least, we have here check credit memo. So if we hit this one over here, then we want the system to check not only invoices but also credit memos for duplicate entries. So one more thing about the check reference field, I would always advise you to go to /O OBA7 transaction. And over here for the different document types, so for instance, for our vendor invoice, we double click. And if we go down, you should set here the reference number in the required during document entry section to being mandatory. In this way, we force the end user to always insert a reference number. So if we go back to FP60 and insert here a supplier and an invoicing date, as well as a currency, then you can see the system says that we must insert a reference number. And by this field, we can also check for double invoices. So this is the best practice. Let's go back to the customizing. Despite this setting over here, we can tell the system what kind of message should be displayed via /N OBA5. That's OBA5. We need to select the application area, which is F5. Hit on continue. Then we can click here on New Entries, select our message number, which is 117, called check whether documents have already been entered under number. And then we could say whether this here should be a warning message or an error message. I would always recommend you to set the warning message over here. Then you can save and that's basically it. Last but not least, let's go back into the customizing via /N SPRO, sub-reference IMG. And then under cross application components, we scroll down up until we can see SAP Business Partner basic settings, field groupings, configure field attributes per client. Double click on the first one, double click on BUPA. We will now search for the data set for our vendor company code data, this one over here. And then we will scroll down up until we can see check for duplicate invoice. And this one we can set as a required entry. So when we now create a new business partner, we are forced to hit the check mark so that the system will check for double invoice. We will see this in action now. Let's click on save. Let's go to a business partner. This one over here, double click. Then we will go to the supplier financial accounting role, company code data, then go to edit. And if we go to payment transactions and scroll down a bit, you can see right now there is no asterisk. However, if you try to save again, the system will inform us that we need to mark the check for double invoice. Let's click on save. That's fine. Now let's see this in action. Therefore, we go to the transaction called /O FP60 as an example. Insert our supplier number, the invoicing date, as well as a reference, an amount, currency. That's basically it. Now let's include here GL account. This one over here, same amount. We need cost assignment, and that's basically it. For now, this is fine. Please be aware that we have here the invoicing date as well as the reference and our company code 1010. We will post for now. This is our document. And now we will try to post to the same supplier with the same invoicing date and reference, as well as the amount, which is also checked. And if we hit enter, you can already see the system informs us that we should check whether the document was already entered under the company code, this number and the fiscal year. But as you can see, this is only a warning message, so I could just hit on enter and then continue. The same also counts if I choose another amount, because even though the amount is different, still we have the same supplier, reference and invoicing date, and so on and so forth. So in the end, I would recommend you to set all of the check marks we have seen in customizing to increase the probability that the system will find out whether we did a mistake and try to post the same invoice twice. Okay, this marks the end of the video. I hope you liked it. If so, then please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. Also make sure to subscribe to my Patreon, where we have a community chat and where I post lots of informative documents about SAP. The link is in the bio of my channel. Thanks a lot and see you next time.